This is Eamon Khan here for Boxing Social in association with Betfred in Sheffield at the Mercure Hotel, the Fight Hotel, with the one and only Alberto Kumi. Introducing Alberto Kumi, first time on Boxing Social. First of all, Alberto, how's life treating you?
Fairly well, I must say. It's been a long road, and then eventually got things moving, and then I had my pro debut on July 30th, Manchester Oldham, on the Black Flash Promotions. And then it was a good, entertaining fight. I brought the excitement, and then all I can say is that I'm happy to get some progression in my career eventually. Yeah.
Alberto, let's rewind. I'm always very interested in speaking to fighters for the first time, knowing about them as to why they got into boxing. What was that first kind of click? They watch boxing, they see boxing, they hear about it, and that takes them from talking about boxing or seeing it and then into a gym. So can we rewind and tell me how you got into a gym in the first place?
So how I got into it, obviously from where I'm from, which is Ghana, there was a lot of boxing communities over there, and then I always heard about it. I never got involved, and then when I moved over to England, age 15, boxing was the most talked about sport in my school. And I once watched Floyd Mayweather versus Ricky Hatton, and then I was like, oh, that was a really good fight. The atmosphere, the performance itself. And then next thing I knew, when I went to school, the other boxers in there were talking about the same fight, and then one of my pals said to me, come to the gym, try it out. I went over there, and then I met this trainer once, and he was like, oh, come on, do the pads. He's called Eugenio Montero. I got involved in the pads with him, and then I never looked back. Never looked back. So it's been about 8 years I've been into boxing now, yeah. So I appreciate him getting me, that excitement and enthusiasm to get involved in the sport.
In terms of you as a fighter, you've had your first fight. We'll get to that in a moment. But who are the fighters that you kind of watched and said, oh, I want to take a little bit of that style, this style, to then mould yourself into the fighter that you are?
Okay. So one of the fighters I used to watch who got me to where I'm at now is Ike Bazooka Quartey. Okay. He's a Ghanaian boxer, and then he was the most talked about when I used to live there. So I used to watch him a lot. And then a bit of Floyd Mayweather, I used to watch him too. And then James Toney and Muhammad Ali. Yeah, obviously they all got different personalities. They're very outspoken characters, and then they're just big guys who embrace themselves and then just wear their hearts on their sleeves. So I took a lot from their fighting style, their personality, and their characters. Yeah,
you got a lot to live up to with that mix of fighters.
I set the bar high for myself, but the bar too high for myself, I must say. But yeah, what's not worth chasing when you can achieve it.
It's not often that you hear Ike Quartey being mentioned by fighters as in terms of people that have influenced them in styles. What was it specifically about Ike that you liked?
His whole demeanour. Like when I've met him a few times, he's a very laid back guy, but then you can easily flick the switch to this very tough man, just a very switched on, always ready for whatever that's in front of him, and then the determination to, just break through barriers in life. Yeah, because I believe he's had a tough upbringing, from when he was younger, and then he was finally able to break through the whole Ghanaian scene and then go over to the States and then compete with fighters like Oscar De La Hoya, what's it called? Felix Trinidad, and then a few other fighters. So it's amazing to see someone do that from my whole country. So I know anything's possible at this point.
Yeah. You had your debut recently. First of all, when it comes to your debut, do you feel any nerves approaching the debut?
Oh, definitely. I had a lot of nerves going on, man, but that's normal, when you're in a sport like this. And then also, I've been around a lot of fighters who've achieved a lot and then are achieving a lot. Fighters like Jordan Thompson, Akib Fayaz, like we just saw. I've been around Jack Catterall, and then fighters like that. They've set the way, and then it's easy to just look at and be inspired by it. And then you've got to appreciate what they're doing these days, because obviously life in boxing is not as easy as and then you got life itself to deal with. So yeah, there's always something that I can look at and then say, it's just another day. Everybody goes through it, and then we come through. Yeah.
How did you feel? I mean, you got the win, which is the most important thing on the Pat Barrett show, which was your debut. But how did you feel in the ring?
So in the ring, I hadn't boxed for about 3 years. My last fight was in 2019 in the amateurs, and then 3 years later I finally had my pro debut. So in the first round I felt I was a bit cagey, and then in the second round my coach Sean Crew said to me, you got to start opening up, and then just be you and then do what you do. Sean's the type of coach and encourage you to be yourself. And then which I did do, and then I finally started finding the shots, and then in the third round I was able to put my opponent down, and then just punish him, and then he managed to see the end of the fight between the 4 rounds. But hats off to him, he was a very tough guy. And then I've got a lot to learn from that because, the 4 rounds is very valuable at this stage of my career. Yeah.
You mentioned a few names that you've been learning a lot from: Thompson, Fiaz, Cattrall. Talk to me about the things that you feel you've picked up from them in terms of you applying that to the game.
Just their mindset and their perseverance, and then their mental toughness. Like I've seen, like we just spoke about, we were all in the same amateur gym back in the day. So when things was tough, everybody just went through it, and we just persevered. A couple changes here and there, and everyone just had their own different paths, different timing. So it's what I can say the most is just be mentally strong. I've picked from all of them. They're just very mentally tough and strong guys, and then even nothing sets them back, nothing upsets them. They never let personal life get into the way of their profession. They're professionals, top professionals. So I'm learning from that, and I will apply that in my career.
What's your boxers get into boxing, or people get into boxing for various reasons? It could be at any level, they just want to win the British, they want to win a world title, whatever it is. But for you, in your own words, what's your ambition in boxing?
My ambition in boxing is to, claim a few titles. I'd love to claim the IBF. That's one of the most prestigious belts that's around. And then, fingers crossed, I can get like a WBC, one of the WBAs, something. But yeah, I'm aiming high, and then I believe that I'll be able to achieve one of those, like be on the world international scene for sure.
You're in and around the welterweight division. Let's talk to you about a couple of the welterweights domestically. Conor Benn is the one that's leading the lights right now, as is Michael McKinson. We'll start with Michael McKinson actually, because he's out this weekend. Your thoughts on his fight with Virgil Ortiz?
Virgil Ortiz, yeah. What's the question again?
Your thoughts on Michael McKinson's fight with Virgil Ortiz?
I think it's a very risky fight for McKinson, just because Virgil Ortiz has got that relentless, aggressive style, but it's educated as well. So yes, McKinson is a very tidy, slick boxer, and then sometimes a bit unpredictable. But you can't get lost in his style, because eventually Ortiz breaks through people's barriers, and then he can just clamp you down and just do his work. So I think I'd love to see McKinson get the victory, yeah. But I can't. It's tough for me to pick a winner. That's what I'm saying, yeah. But good luck to him.
Conor Benn, as mentioned, whispers potentially about Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. Your thoughts on if that one gets over the line?
Conor Benn all day. Conor Benn all day. I'm a big fan. I watch his career. I've seen his progression. But yeah, to see someone progress and then strive so hard, regardless of the family that he's come from. At the end of the day, he's a working man, isn't he? And then he's applying himself, and then he's going through all the barriers and then all the challenges that life throws at him. So hats off to him, and then I believe he'll be able to put in a great performance that night.
Big heavyweight rematch coming up in a couple of weeks, that being Usyk and Anthony Joshua. To your prediction for that fight?
Anthony Joshua, definitely. I mean, the first fight he got schooled, don't get me wrong, but he stuck in there, didn't he? He saw the final bell. But this time round, I think Anthony Joshua is going to make sure he gets everything right this time, miss no tricks in the book. And yeah, I believe Anthony Joshua is going to get the win. Yeah.
Number of Ghanaian boxers in the world scene that are doing their thing right now. We saw Richard Kome putting in a warrior's effort against Lomachenko. He's fighting Jose Pedraza soon, I believe. And then you got Isaac Dogboe as well. You mentioned the number of leading lights for Ghanaian boxing right now.
Yeah. Sorry, what about them?
Yeah, just those fighters and Ghanaian influences in boxing.
So like Richard Kome, like I've never met the man, but I believe that he's a man that's hungry. Watching his fights, it doesn't matter who he's facing. Like he faced Lomachenko, and then he was out of his depth, but it never fazed him or made him shy away. He was still himself, doing what he does. He fought Teofimo Lopez. He was unlucky again, but like I say to you, people coming from Ghana and then change their whole life, leaving their family behind, and chasing dreams to make their life better for not just for themselves but for everyone. It's amazing to watch. You can't discredit people like that. Win or fail, you have to appreciate them. Yeah.
Can't forget as well, we've got Jordan.
Sorry to interrupt you. You've got Joshua Boatse, that's another one.
Yep.
He's also leading the pack for the Ghanaians. So yeah, got a few of us coming through. So soon we'll be shining.
You might fight Bivol soon.
Very tough fight, very very tough fight. But I've got to go with my fellow Black Star, Joshua Boatse. Yeah, he's going to win. Yeah.
Can't fail to mention as well Jordan's out tomorrow night. Jordan's been impressive in his recent outings, getting highlight reel knockouts and finishes there. You expecting another one tomorrow?
Yeah, it's just the same old routine for Jordan. I expect nothing less. Like, honestly, like I'm not even saying it just because he's my friend. Nothing. It's the same old performance. When you watch someone's performance all the time, you just know what they're about. So it'll be an impressive, exciting victory to secure the IBF title. So good luck to Jordan.
Finally, Alberto, let's bring this back to you. For people watching this interview who are expecting to see you out because you've talked a good game, when are we going to next expect to see you back out?
You should see me back out end of September or mid-October in Manchester, which is my hometown at the minute. So look, keep an eye out for me, and then I'll deliver another exciting performance.
And for people who are watching this interview who want to follow your career, follow your journey, where can they find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram. It's alberto.k. So the Alberto is A with 2 L's, BERTO.k. And then my social media, Facebook is Alberto Kumi, and it's the same for my Twitter. Yeah.
Alberto with 2 L's, doing things differently. Looking forward to watching you progress in your career. Thank you so much for speaking to Box Social.
Appreciate your time, man.
Wish you all the best, and we'll catch up soon.
Okay,
Good man.
Yeah.